Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer podcast. I am your host, Charles, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit, aka
El Judío Maravilloso.
I was looking for you guys on that one.
Oh.
Got my Latino family in the house tonight, so I was looking for a little backup, but apparently it didn't happen. In any event, a lot of things going on. I was reflecting yesterday. I was like, all right, we're like almost at the halfway point through the year, right? So this is the time where you like sit and you say, all right, I set goals at the beginning, even though it's not good to do New Year's resolutions because that shit never happens. But you set goals anyway. You're like, all right, I'm halfway through the year. Where am I? So we have a goal. Man, do you remember the goal? 12 and 12? So we have a goal, 12 and 12, which is this year. We're still doing a ton of fix and flips, a ton of residential stuff, but 12 commercial deals in 12 months. So then I'm like, oh, we behind the ball. And then I sat down yesterday. I'm like, all right, what do we got in the pipe, Rooney? And I'm like, we're there. So far we got the commercial deal that we're in negotiations to build 9,400 square feet for a local hospital. Everybody put out positive vibes so we can get that going. That's one. We picked up the 8-unit apartment building in Patchogue. We're about to pick up a 5-unit apartment building in Farmingdale. I just got a deal yesterday. I can't talk about it, but it's probably going to be for 10,000 square feet of medical space. That's 4, right, Maddie? Number 5 is that monster one that I signed that we did the vlog a couple weeks ago. That's going to be either an assisted living facility or an 80-unit apartment building. That's 5, right? And number 6 is, I'm getting a piece that we're signing next week to build, I hope, 80,000 square feet of self-storage.
Nice.
6 and 6? 6 and 6. Halfway to 12 and 12. We are crushing life right now. You know who else is crushing life right now? My twin brother, apparently, Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. If you need plans, if you need permits anywhere on Long Island, not in the boroughs. I'm sorry, guys. We don't do the boroughs. It's a fucking zoo in the boroughs. Hence my parking dilemma yesterday. But if you're on Long Island, if you're a realtor, a lawyer, drove by a house, want to buy a house, thinking to buy a house, mortgage broker, anybody else, title company. Who did I miss?
I think you
got him.
You need the captain, my twin brother. I have the beard. He doesn't have the beard. 516-513-8838. If you like him and hate me, or if you hate me, you'll like him and vice versa. 516. And if, obviously, if you have a piece of property, commercial property, anything real estate related, I'm low maintenance. I want to buy it. 516-777-SOLD. Okay. So we got 2 guests today.
Awesome.
Very exciting. And I guess the first thing that comes to mind when I think about today's guests, I don't know them at all, but I see what they're doing. And more importantly, I feel the love that they have for each other and real estate emanating through my Instagram feed. So I was like, I love. And I love what they're doing. And heavy duty social media, brokers. And I don't know if you've heard any of my shit recently where I'm like, I have like a broker beef recently where I'm like, not a broker beef per se, but I think there's like a lot of opportunity in the brokerage space because I feel like in general, brokers, actually I remember how I first heard of you guys and I'll tell you in a minute. I feel like brokers they're taking and they're not really giving the value.
100%.
And then like I see that you guys are actively trying to change that. And the first person who's actually starting to be a prolific force who got me hooked up with Maddie, not directly, but I was like, you know what, I really need to do what he's doing. And then he actually said that you guys were awesome, is Dean Miller.
Oh.
Dean Miller.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dean Miller.
Me and Dean are Instagram friends.
Insta buddies.
So this now I'm a little bit I don't know the name of the brokerage. We never talked about it. We've talked about everything. So introduce yourselves to the world.
Yes, I am Alexander Fazalani. I am broker, owner of Ian Alexander Realty Group.
And I'm Amanda Bojorquez. I co-operate with Alex. I'm a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. Bro, you even got a nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
You got like a little
right?
bit of like,
podcast.
that shit is like if the real estate thing doesn't work out, the 9-100 line shit,
Definitely.
you could clean up.
I always tell him he should go into reading novels.
Yeah, audiobooks.
Yeah.
Seriously, like just think about this. You get like some woman from like the Midwest who's like, and she dials in. What is it like $4.99 a minute? What were those things? And you're like, hello, my name is. Can you say that? Say your name again.
My name is Alexander Fazalani.
Fucked. Right? Like I got a little tingly, and I don't even like guys. Just imagine what you could do. What do they charge for that? Like $2.99 a minute, $3.99 a minute?
I miss my calling.
Dude, you can. it's not too late.
I mean, I got too
You're
much on my
young.
plate.
That could be your next career.
Got too much on my plate right now, man.
So
if he starts disappearing for days, for a couple hours a day, and I'm seeing extra money flowing into the house, I know
Yeah.
what it's coming from.
Yeah. Oh, we also missed Design for Realtors.
Oh yes, we also own a company called Design for Realtors.
is that where? So you're about to launch.
We're about to launch a specific product,
Okay,
but the
yes.
company itself already
We got,
exists.
like,
Okay, but that's related to that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I want to start from the beginning because I'm intrigued I want to know about the love story.
Okay.
We can talk about that, right?
Yeah, we could talk about that. So we originally met in college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
What
know
college was this?
Oneonta State.
Oh yeah, cold cheese, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cold
He knows.
cheese. Come
he
on.
knows.
Everybody.
Cold cheese pizza.
Not anything educational. It's always cold cheese
Cold cheese
pizza,
pizza.
and they
And-
call it Stonianta.
And just a lot of. I've never been drunk. I don't drink at all, and I've never smoked weed. I've never done anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go there to hang out with my friends, and it was just a total shit show disaster.
Yeah.
But the two things that I guess are etched in my brain is insane party scene, like insane, just skanky beer smelling, just
I don't
destroyed
feel like
bars.
it was that bad.
Everything smelled like old beer.
Yeah, it was
It did.
everything.
It did.
And cold cheese pizza.
Yeah. And I was an RA, so I got to
Oh, yeah?
experience a lot of that. I was a cool as RA though.
He
Yeah?
was.
You were
he
cool,
was a
alright?
RA.
That was cool. RA.
I never lived in the dorm, so I didn't know. Like, are RAs usually dicks? Like, what's the
Yeah.
They
Yes.
could be.
why?
They're usually like the dorm police.
These are usually like the kids that like got picked on, and now they're like, okay, in
Yeah.
high school,
They have
like
power
I'm gonna,
now.
I'm
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
So you were cool, RA.
Yeah.
Smoking weed was okay.
I mean, just don't do it in the building, and then don't get me in trouble
Don't
for.
see, don't
do it.
tell.
Don't. I was in the pit, so I had basically all the athletes on my floor.
Oh, the basement.
What's the pit?
That's the basement floor.
Oh, okay.
So I had like all the athletes. And
You were like in the dungeon of the building.
Yeah.
So bring me cold cheese pizza. Do whatever the hell you want. Just don't get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Use a spoof when you're smoking weed. You know what a spoof is?
No, I don't
No.
know.
Wow. A spoof. You guys don't have those? Am I old? Yes. A spoof is when you would take. You know what a spoof is? Wow. Okay. And I don't even smoke weed here. So you would take a paper towel, like the ring of a paper towel.
You blow out the window or something?
No, you would stuff it with like what are those dryer sheets? I don't do laundry. What are those fabric softener sheets that you put in the dryer?
Yeah.
You stuff it with that, and when you exhale, you blow it through the tube, and it would come out smelling fresh like the fabric softener sheets.
I was wondering
Oh,
why
wow.
everything smelled like Febreze.
Is that true?
No, I'm just joking.
I don't
You
think they
sure
had
you
freeze.
never smoked?
Never. Everyone says. Everyone's like,
You
I
just
thought you were a
witnessed a lot.
stoner. I'm like, I'm not. No.
You second-handed.
I actually really like the smell of weed.
Really?
Yeah. Do you like the smell of weed?
I mean, yeah, I don't mind it.
All right. So you're in the dungeon,
Yeah.
just smelling weed.
Yeah. And then she was.
I was a freshman. He transferred in as a sophomore.
year.
Okay. So 1 year
I
apart.
had a huge crush on him.
You're 29, 28.
Yeah.
You see him strutting through the basement, and you were in. No, you weren't in the basement.
No, I was in a different dorm hall. He was like touring the school.
Tell me about
like,
the first time you saw him.
Oh man, we have arguments.
We argue about this all the time. The first time I saw him, he was visiting my dorm hall, and I was instantly like, oh. And he does not remember meeting me.
I don't.
He
I
doesn't
swear to
remember
God.
meeting me at all. We had
you-
a full-blown conversation.
Were you smoking at that point in your life? No.
Not
So
yet.
you have no excuse.
No excuse.
Not yet.
I wasn't
Real
But
estate.
Well,
I was
back
also
then.
really bad. I'm also really bad with names sometimes, so that happens.
Yeah,
Where
but that's her face, dude.
Names,
Not her
you don't
name. Forget
remember
about
me.
her name. Yeah, that's yeah.
I was meeting a lot of people that day.
And she's cute, dude. That's bad. But you know what? That probably worked to your advantage now that you think about it. 'Cause- yeah.
Looking back.
Yeah.
Because now, like, she's sweating you, and you're like, oh, I don't know you. And obviously, psychologically, it has to
Yeah.
have some kind of an impact there,
It
especially
did.
at that age.
Yeah.
It did.
You know, because like when you look at like people that are like 19 years old dating, there's a heavy game thing there.
Yeah.
Girls are tough. You guys are.
Yeah.
You guys are
I wasn't
tough.
that cute back then though. I was all rock and roll, so I was a little
Really?
scary looking.
Latin women can sometimes be especially tough on a different level.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that worked. Good.
And then you can tell.
Yeah, so I had a
Don't get in
huge
trouble.
crush on him. I let him know, and he wasn't about it. And I tried and tried and tried and tried, and nothing.
Wow.
And then we just became best friends. I let it go.
Oh, okay, good. Now I can say what I
I
had to say
got friend
before.
zoned.
And you're gonna. I need you to be 100% honest with me when I make this claim. Guys and girls are not friends. Period. Ever. So this is my theory. And they're like, no. I'm like, listen, somebody is trying to have sex with the other person. Or they're like hanging around until they realize, in this case, it actually worked. So freaking kudos to you. Until they realize how wonderful they are. The other person realizes how wonderful they are, and then they get in there. So, did you friend zone? Because you're like, all right, not friend zone. Did you You weren't really his friend. You wanted to get in.
I mean,
We were pretty-
honestly, we were. I had a boyfriend. I let it go, and then I got into a relationship that lasted a bit.
How did you feel about that? Did you not care? You were cool with
No,
that?
then I felt some type of way.
Really?
And
So-
he tried to tell me, and then I was like, no.
Serves you right, dude.
Yeah, I know, karma, right?
Yeah, she comes to you, and let me tell you something. That's a very mature move for somebody at how old were you?
20
Yeah, but she's always been more mature.
by then.
But for her to be 20 and come to you and be like, listen, like, I just want you to know that I'm putting you on notice. I don't know what the hell I'm going to say. It was a Will Smith line. I fucked it up. But that's not the point. The point is she's like, I noticed you. I don't know. She's like, I noticed you. I'm into you. And you're like, eh.
I was 18 when that happened. When
Yeah.
he changed his mind, I was 20.
She came correct and direct. You shut the door.
She didn't come correct and direct. It
I
wasn't
was-
correct.
It wasn't correct. It was young.
What was
young
it?
and stupid.
What was it?
He's always been a very classy man.
She was it's just
You have like this kind of air of dukeness about you.
Arab Dukeness.
Yeah, you do. You do. You're like a stately guy. Like you could be, yeah, like a diplomat or something
Yeah, maybe.
from some exotic country.
That would be really cool. I wish I could be there.
Like the kind of place that when you open doors, like trumpets play,
That's
shit like that,
cool.
like King of Zamunda. You know what I'm talking about? So you have somebody. He comes back like, sorry, man, I'm
Yeah.
taken right now.
Yeah.
And how did you feel? You're like, yes.
I was upset.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, why did we wait all this time?
Well, I mean,
Did this ultimately like bring down the other relationship?
No, we just continued to be friends.
And
We let
then
it
I
go.
got into a relationship.
Yeah.
And then she came kind of back.
I
Yeah, but she came back.
Yeah, I came back.
It's just
You broke up with that guy.
I broke up with that guy. I had another relationship after that. This years passed. I was.
You guys.
18.
Oh, so you guys were still like friends?
Yeah, we would have
For, like,
lunch, talk about
5 years, 6
business.
years.
I used to do all his headshots and photography for his real estate business.
And you mean to tell me that the two of you guys aren't looking across the table talking about headshots, thinking like, I want to have sex with you?
No, I had boyfriend on and off, and
Yeah. I was
he
in
had a
relationship.
girlfriend. He was in a relationship. It honestly never crossed my mind, like those years. Like we had a special connection, but for us it was like,
You guys
oh, we're
Entrepreneurship.
best friends and entrepreneurship, and like I could talk to
We
this
always,
person.
we always vibed on that, like
Yeah.
entrepreneurship,
You
business
guys
stuff.
are so much more disciplined than I do. And then, all right, so then I want to hear about the moment where it like,
I'll let you handle that.
All right, so I was in a relationship at the time, and we were like not doing too good, right? So I was like, and it was like, I was about to get engaged. I was thinking about it. I was like on the fence. I was really on the fence, and then she basically poured out her heart when she saw the engagement ring.
I'd lost my.
Shit.
okay,
Shit.
hold on. So you were about to get engaged, but you kind of secretly didn't really want to get engaged.
Yeah, I was kind of like on the fence about it. We were not a good spot.
And then you tell her, oh, I'm getting engaged. Here's the engagement ring because you're like friends,
Yeah.
right? Friends. Because
We
friends.
were actually friends.
Yeah, because friends really get upset when other friends propose to somebody. And then then she said, I don't know. Yeah, just
I lost it. He showed it. He told me via text, and
I
I don't
fucking
know
love
what
you
came
guys.
over me, but I saw it, and I just like I lost it. I was like hyperventilating and crying,
And then I was mad.
and he was livid.
you were mad at her?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she waited to literally to the
Years.
last moment, like the last moment of everything.
She actually probably saved you though, dude.
Yeah, she did.
Had you have not done that, right? Are you guys very like? Are you spiritual, superstitious people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, had she not done that, you could be married
Possibly married.
And,
or
yeah.
possibly divorced.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we went through the whole ordeal, and then I was like a wreck, and then we fixed each other up a little bit.
It was a lot of ups and downs.
Bro, that must have been a crazy breakup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
yeah,
I don't even know what that conversation's got to be like.
it was tough. It was tough. It was very, very tough.
I don't even.
Was she Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, did you get something? Did you get something thrown at you like a chancleta or something?
Oh my God.
No,
No, nothing.
nothing.
There was a lot of screaming though.
Yes.
You got called a lot of names.
Yes.
But yo, listen, not for nothing, I commend you, because you had the balls, and that obviously translates into life and business,
Yeah.
which is cool because I see what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So,
major moves. It's all about major moves.
talk to me about when does real estate come into the picture?
So I was in real estate for 5 years.
Okay.
I started my career like many did, where they just kind of throw a book at you
In a sales capacity?
in sales
Okay.
capacity. I'm trying to get into investing now. But,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. But before, I've always wanted to get into investing. So I thought the best way was to get involved around real estate.
Okay.
So I quit my decent job to basically pursue real estate.
What were you doing before?
I was a marketing coordinator for a startup company.
Which is great because like that always, that translates into anything you ever want to do.
Yeah.
Because like I see you guys as I follow you. Well, I guess let's stop for a minute. What are your Instagram handles?
Real estate with Amanda.
And I'm Alex Fazlani.
Okay, so I follow both of you guys, and that's how I met you. So I see you guys doing the mad scientist editing, and from what I've heard of the legend of the both of you guys is that you have a brokerage now.
Yes.
Name of the brokerage is
Ian Alexander Realty Group.
So you based out of Queens.
Yes, Forest Hills.
Okay. Looking to expand to Long Island, or are you?
Yeah. Long Island, Brooklyn, and potentially the Bronx.
Nice.
Where we want to kind of stay.
So the like you guys are trying to like you're not trying, you're doing it, like you're doing it differently. You're like really looking to like give the agents value. I want to hear about the launch of what you guys put together.
Yeah.
The planner, is it?
Well,
a
there's
different
two
business.
things.
That's another one.
That's a separate business.
It's like a fifth business.
Oh no, that's part of design for
that's
realtors.
part of design for realtors. Yeah.
So
Our agents get it for free though.
nice.
Yeah.
Part of the perks.
Part
Yeah.
of first, yeah.
Did you get into real estate when you guys?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a happy accident. I cracked a joke, but his
I
eyes
got really
glowed,
hype about it.
and then it made me kind of think like, oh, well maybe that would be cool. And I was working for a makeup company at the time,
Okay.
as a multimedia producer, and then I don't know. I was like, okay, I'll take the test. Like, let's see. And so I started shadowing him while I was studying for the exam
Okay.
to get a better sense, because I would just see him like day in and day out, but not like see the nitty gritty details of
Okay.
it. And then that's when I was like, oh yeah, I could do this.
What is? I mean, I see you in sales. Like you're that person. What is a multimedia producer?
Oh, so that was a job title I was given because I was wearing too many hats and they didn't know what job title to give me.
Okay.
But essentially I was doing web design, affiliate marketing design, photo editing, video editing, shooting video, shooting photo, anything that they needed that had to do with the media
That's
that
cool.
they put out. And I was the only person, and it's like a multi-million-dollar makeup company.
No, that's awesome, and you guys are very fortunate because you seem to do a lot of things really well that lend itself to like the modern era, which is cool. Because typically you have like if you have people that are like very tech savvy. I mean, not be stereotypical, but it is what it is. They're not salespeople typically,
savvy,
right? Or people savvy, and vice versa. Like I'm people savvy. I can't like log on. I can like log on. I still have an AOL, like I do.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can log on to AOL.
We won't judge.
That's like the extent. Yeah, everyone's at least secretly judging. Is the extent of my ability. So, you guys being like young but having experience, I think is like a really good fit and a good place for you. Because now you can help other agents market the way that they have to, because the world is changing.
Yeah, it is. It
Like
really
everything
is.
you guys are
Very
doing
quickly.
is like the future is really today.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing what you're doing or working with you or people like yourself, they're going to wake up one day and be like, I have no business.
Yeah. I've started noticing that with brokerages around the area, like the older school brokerages with the older models, they're condensing, they're getting smaller.
People are leaving.
They're getting crushed, yeah.
They are. People are. And then like you guys, when did you get your broker's license?
2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
2.5 years ago.
At that point, were you were doing it just for you, or were you pushing together agents at that time?
No, it was me and one other person.
Okay.
Basically, I was with a different company. I wasn't really. They didn't give me marketing control, right? Like the things I wanted to do, they were like, "Oh, that doesn't work. Just do this. Just do this. Just do this. Like, just cold call. That's it."
Really?
Yeah, they were just telling me to do certain things. They didn't like. I didn't really like the color schemes and stuff like that, so I wanted to change up stuff. So I would hire her to be like, help me make this postcard, and this is how I want it done.
This is when you guys were friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would like basically send her the schematics of all the postcards I wanted, but then every time she would
I would have
mock
to
them
stay
up.
within the parameters of what that company wanted.
She would mock them up. I would be like, all right, this is what I want to print out, and they would be like, no, you need to have this bigger. You need to have our logo bigger. You need this, blah blah. And I didn't like that. I didn't feeling constricted. So.
I mean, people that are like entrepreneurs, like I've never. In college, I worked for. I've had I've been in business my entire life. I had 3 jobs prior to that, like 3 real jobs. One, I worked in a 7-Eleven. You ever see the movie Clerks?
No,
No.
I haven't.
Fuck.
I've heard about it though.
I worked at McDonald's, bro, so don't forget.
Did you? No, listen, I loved it. I had 3 jobs that were awesome, right? I worked at a 7-Eleven when I was a kid for like 4 years, which was kind of like that movie Clerks, if you ever see it. If you see it, you'll be like, that's cool. I understand what he's talking about now. I worked at Kenneth Cole and Roosevelt Field Mall, which was awesome, but like real corporate. And at that job, I was like fuck corporate America. I am never doing this again. And I was like 20, selling like bags and clothes, and hitting on the Mac girls across the hall. You didn't work for Mac, did you?
You know, I worked at Michael Kors.
Did you?
Yeah, I was a stock boy when I was struggling in real estate.
Where, but not on Long Island.
Not long ago, I was in Queens Center Mall.
In Queens Center Mall. That's a crazy mall, bro.
Yeah, it's wild.
At my third job, I was a cocktail waiter in a male strip club. When I say male, I mean guys work there, girls come there.
Okay.
Kind of thing. I'm going to clarify that.
You were a cocktail?
I was a 19-year-old cocktail waiter at a Chippendales joint.
Did you have to wear the thingy?
You did not know that?
He knows now.
Now you know. Maddie's looking at me like some kind of way right now.
Is it true that they wear the bow tie?
Not at this particular. So this place was called Escapes. It was in Merrick of all places, which is super random. Do you know Merrick?
Yeah, I know Merrick.
You know Merrick. So so the owner of Escapes lived down the street from the 7-Eleven. I was like 19 working at 7-Eleven, like a baby, and he's like, "Oh, you want to work at my place?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, how many times do you have the opportunity to work in a male strip club when you're 19 years old? I mean, all right, let's do this. Life is a bad experience." Whoop. Sorry, guys. My mother, my poor little Jewish mother, was like, freaking out about it. But it was a very cool job. I don't know how I went off on this tangent. Oh, corporate America. I have a problem with authority. I can't deal with it. It's the same kind of thing. So I guess people that are entrepreneurial by nature just can't be...
We are unemployable.
Yeah, you can't be under somebody else's... Yeah. It's very stunting.
Yeah.
And the irony of that is it's probably leading to their shrinking agent base right now.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, I'm going out on my own, and we're gonna do it better and bigger and different.
Yeah. So that was the concept behind it. Just designed everything. Just did the growing pains the first year, you can say. Went through different phases of a team, kind of like trying to build my own.
The brokerage had different phases.
Yeah, we're in phase 4 now, but it's just started like that, and then I've been slowly trying to step out of production into the investment world and just trying to give more value to our agents.
Yeah, I guess, and that's the thing that a lot of brokers, obviously there's like a transitional period where you start as a broker and you're still like selling real estate, but I kind of feel like if you want to truly grow like a really big brokerage, you're not in the business of selling real estate anymore as a broker. You're in the business of like cultivating agents, giving them value, culture, bringing them in, etc.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of brokers don't, like, I hear stories from agents all the time where like, the brokers are seeing the offers come in and then they have their people on the side and they're like, hey, come in like $3,000 more. And it's like, you're cannibalizing your own agents.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, before this, I owned a Mako body shop franchise, like, oh, better get Mako on TV. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of
No, you ever heard of that?
I think I've heard like a commercial once.
You're just being nice
Back
to
when
me.
I had TV.
You're just being nice to me. What was the point of that? I don't freaking... Oh, well, I don't remember. Anyway, we'll keep going. So, what did I say right before that? No, this was...
like, cultivating culture and, like, that brokers have to step out of production and help the agents and bring value.
No. It'll come back to me in like 5 minutes. It always does. So, what is phase 4? Like,
So phase 4 is actually probably my favorite phase.
Yeah.
Obviously. Every phase is my favorite phase. But this time I felt like I had this person with me, right? Like my person with me, which kind of changed the whole game. So like just our ideas, bouncing ideas, like we would literally spend all night just like drinking beer and just like
give us a bottle of wine and a whiteboard and we
would go at it. Like you know how your office is where it's like we would just be writing on stuff, like drawing up like different ways to how we could add more value. And I think we came up with like the best concept.
Yeah, we revamped the entire business last year, about 3 months before the new year. And then we decided that we wanted an online training sort of setup. So we came up with the idea to create a knowledge base through our website that our agents could log into.
Yeah.
And so we spent about 2 months shooting 125 some odd videos.
Very smart.
And editing them so that we had like a base for like beginner agents to come in and kind of like learn on their own terms in case video was like the way their preferred learning experience versus learning in person, so that we could kind of touch on all the different learning types.
No, it's very, very smart. I knew someone like years ago who did something similar, not exactly like that, but he called it, have you ever heard of Bond in New York City?
Yes.
So Noah Friedman is one of the owners. I know him. He had Bond University, which they had like not to that scale, but like a similar concept, and I think it's brilliant because you can learn 24/7 and you can constantly be updating it, and nobody does that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like and I might be wrong because I don't know a lot, but I don't think like Keller or Realty Connect or any of those people have that like that. Like you can go on YouTube or log into the portal and your agent's like, you know, I had an issue with this objection, or I'm going to be in this situation. Like, how do I handle it? And they have like totally online. So that's brilliant.
So on top of that, we also kind of, every time we have like a training and we have people like come in person to guest trainers, we record that and put them in snippets based on topics as well.
Very
so
smart.
It gets updated, everything keeps getting uploaded to the database.
Do you guys do all your own social media? Because you have an editing background. You were in music before, right?
Yeah.
Can you like sing or anything?
Yeah, I could do a little bit of.
Can you?
He's modest. He can sing.
Yeah. Well,
Can you play any instruments?
I can play guitar. I taught myself how to play like the basics of a guitar.
But you can sing.
I mean, yeah.
Can you really sing?
I probably sing better than him.
You guys can both sing too?
Yeah.
All I really want to do. All right. So all I really want to do is do like either a duet or I guess a trio.
Let's do it.
With some like when the Lady Gaga, there was a realtor I know who played guitar, and when the Lady Gaga movie came out, I called him up and I'm like, listen, I don't even know him. Like I saw him on IG and I saw him playing the guitar and I'm like, listen, dude, this is what we have to do. I'm gonna dress up like a woman, like Lady Gaga, and I can't sing for shit, but like you're gonna be who's that, like Bradley? Oh, like you're gonna be Bradley Cooper. Like you're a good looking dude. You have hair. I don't have hair. I'm gonna put a wig on and dress up like Lady Gaga, and we're gonna do like this spoof cover. And he said no. It's like I have little children. They can't see me with you dressed in drag.
Oh.
He's like, I'm like a professional. So that's all I really want to do.
Yeah.
So just give me a slow maybe instead of a fast no, that we could do like a trio of something.
Yeah, I'll give you a slow maybe. Yes.
Slow maybe?
Got it.
All right, cool. So, but that's a great thing because it's, I mean, I guess you guys are going to, is the purpose to get to a certain point where you're going to start outsourcing the content creation, not creation, but like the editing and stuff, just like how many.
Yeah, it's a lot for us to be doing everything.
Yeah.
But it is smart in that way that we get to figure out on our own time what we like and don't like. So when the time comes that we do hire someone to come in, we can be precise.
Yeah, give them a style to
give them
with.
guidance.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
It's like, it's franchise model. You ever read The E-Myth?
No, I have not. But I've heard of it.
You've heard of it? You should read it. It's a dope book.
E-Myth.
So back to the Mako thing, so Mako was a franchise. So then I read the E-Myth, and the premise of the E-Myth is like there's different personalities that people have, worker, manager, entrepreneur, and like people end up getting
That's
stuck.
kind of like what Tony Robbins preaches.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says like there's the entrepreneur, manager, and then the artist.
Yeah. So that's like half of the book, and then like the other half of the book is something called franchise model, which is like regardless of what business you're in, you should do every job at the beginning, and then write a manual, and then hire someone to replace yourself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because there's going to be a certain point where you guys have like 2,000 agents and you're like, I can't. So the thing that I'm kind of like intrigued about also, and I want to get your opinion on it from a scale standpoint of how do you structure, like every agent needs to have digital content, right? So I guess I have two questions. A, how do you help agents get over the anxiety hump of I don't want to be on video? Right? And then two, what are your thoughts on providing agents the ability to do like digital through guidance or having a camera person on staff or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Like, what's your plan? What's your plan to scale that?
So for us, one thing that we noticed that was really important in providing value was covering that like difficult hump that a lot of agents have.
Yeah.
So with the online portal that we created, we added a marketing suite, which also includes customizable designs that they can use for social media content. Then we also added another portion called Social Realtor, which would give them access to stock photos, but that we shot. So it's not that other people like on the internet have access to.
What do you mean by
ours.
like stock photos of what?
So like photos, like styled shots of like a laptop with like listing contract, or like photos of the neighborhoods and things like that they can use that are exclusive to us, along with caption templates. So like they can kind of either use it, copy and paste it, or use it as like an idea to get started to write captions, because real estate agents also struggle with like writing content as well. So there was those two, and then we also just added 1 hour photo shoots per month. So each agent gets an hour photo shoot that's supposed to be to help them create content, so they can either use it for video or for photo.
Wow.
So scaling wise, as we get bigger, we would obviously outsource that because I can't shoot everything for that many people. But I think that like even outside of our brokerage, if agents wanted to really like step it up, they should really work with a creative person. Yeah. Like the way that you're doing. Like a lot of agents will say like, oh, I don't want to spend the money, but it's like if you don't want to figure it out yourself and you do want to get over like the nervousness of video, get a creative person because half of their job is coaching you through it.
Yeah, and a lot of realtors I feel struggle with the money aspect. Right off the bat, they're like, I don't know if I should spend money to. And to be honest with you, you could do it with just picking up your camera and just.
Well, that's the thing. And that's what I tell, like, even investors, the same thing. Like, you know, to pay someone to do this stuff, it costs money, right? Yeah. People, regardless of the industry, they don't want to do it. But that's what I say. I'm like, listen, it's so easy. I'm like, it's just in your hand.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an internal thing. It's more of a, what am I going to look like? Everyone has to get to the point where they just basically stop giving a shit.
I mean, what's helped me a lot is obviously I have Amanda. So every time she's like doing something, she has a camera and she's always recording me. When I don't want to be recorded, she's recording me. So at some point, I just got comfortable. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so it's like if you're in an uncomfortable position long enough, you'll become comfortable in the uncomfortable. Yeah. And the cool thing I never do this, but I'm always looking for fresh ideas, and it's there all the time, but I never thought to do it. And then the other day, you did a series of the questions, and I'm like, oh, fuck, maybe I'll do that. And then I posted it, and I was like, oh, and I had 10 or 15 people ask me questions, and I posted it up. So the thing I like about you is like you're very consistent with it,
Thank you.
Which is important, and you're like constantly being creative and thinking outside the box and like pushing people. And what you guys were just describing about how you're basically it's like social media and content creation for dummies, for agents, right? Mm-hmm. Which is brilliant. Yeah. Very smart. Yeah. So obviously these are the perks that you get when you're under, your umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do the agents do? They kind of like, they log in to like a portal and all that stuff is there?
Our website and all that stuff is there. It's broken up into categories so they can go to the training portion, the marketing suite and all that stuff.
Yeah. And then we also show who's doing what, production wise. So for healthy competition.
We have a nice setup, but in terms of the actual value portion, it's really the knowledge base with all those training videos, the marketing suite, which has a bunch of things that they can use, including the action plans.
Very smart.
And then the social realtor, which we're working on buffing that up more.
Yeah.
Or beefing that up more.
The other business, I'm sorry, I forgot the name.
Design for Realtors.
Yeah.
That was a happy accident, which was his idea.
Yeah, it was basically, that went through 2 phases too.
Yeah.
So it was at first we were just targeting business owners to try to build their brand, right? But that wasn't really scalable and it took so much time.
Yeah.
Right, so we were just
we're in the middle of building a brand.
Yeah, we're in the middle of building a brand right now. I'm and people would love this, their own postcard designs and they don't want to make it themselves. And we do pretty awesome stuff. Let's make just it so that
white label what we create and then sell it, and that way because we get people who message us how did you make this, or I would like to use this type of thing. So we opted to do it that way, and then the action plans were also they came out of necessity and happy accident as well. We were having a team meeting one day, we were just how would you guys feel if there was a thing that had exactly what you needed to do, when you're supposed to do it, with the design, the marketing materials, and you just drag and drop your photos, property photos, and
this is all digital.
Yeah,
all digital.
Okay, because
digital.
That's what I was going to ask you, because when I saw you kind of talking about it, I didn't know if it was a hard copy version or if it's both or if it's digital.
So the action plans are straight digital. Okay. But one of our best sellers is our planner.
Yeah.
Right. So that planner.
So you guys are actively you're selling this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually
an e-commerce store.
Oh shit! I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually doing really well right now.
Yeah.
This is is this specifically in the real estate niche, or this is in every business?
Real estate.
Just real estate.
How are you marketing it? Just via social media?
To be honest with you, it's just through social media.
There's no paid advertising. We just threw it up there. We gave it an Instagram. We hardly ever posted on it. It's just recently that we started to kind of pick it up.
Because we saw that everyone was starting to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, so the planner actually came because I wanted a planner.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was I keep buying all these planners, but they're always missing something.
Yeah.
So I was just let's just make a planner for the team. And then she made
I made the planner for you.
Yeah, she made the planner for me. I drew up how I wanted.
Was it a surprise, or you knew you were getting it?
No, he knew he
No,
was
no.
getting it. He asked for
I
it.
drew it up. Like I made out like the schematics of it, and then I gave it to her. I was like, "Can you make it?" And then she made it, and then we're like, "We should try to sell this," and then we started.
Then we put it up there, and then it started getting downloaded, and it's $15.99, and we were like, okay, we didn't have to do. The beauty of it is that we run a real estate brokerage, and he's in production. We do a lot of things, but with Design for Realtors, the idea was for it to sort of be like, I don't really believe in the term passive income, but we don't have to do much of anything because it's all digital products.
You don't believe in passive income?
I don't think anything's truly passive. There's work involved. It's not like go drink margaritas 365 on a beach somewhere and like your money's just making you money.
Yeah, no. These YouTube videos you see of guys who are like, just do this and you can like sit on a beach now. And make $100K a year.
I don't believe in that kind of passive.
No. Yeah. I guess nothing. You're right. I think nothing's truly truly passive.
It feels passive when you enjoy what you're doing, I think.
Yeah. If you but see, this is just like necessity is the mother of all invention.
Mm-hmm.
Like people always like, oh, I want to like invent somewhere, I want to do something like you. Listen, I'm like, it is so easy to be successful today. It's easier to be successful today than it's ever been before.
It's the
like
best time to be alive.
The power of like your phone and social media and anything, like it's super easy. I'm like, I had this conversation with someone like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, just think about something in your life exactly like you, where there's like a void or like a missed opportunity in the market. Like for me, it was the Captain Permit thing, or I'll notice stuff, and I'm like, just take action and launch a business.
Yeah.
And you'll see what happens. And it's never going to be perfect. No. Right? It's just, it has to be good enough that it works, and then you're constantly refining it forever. 100%. It never stops. But I think a lot of people get hung up in this whole, like, that's what I was going to ask you before we were talking about perfection. I'm like, it's good to be a perfectionist just as long as you don't hold it back because you want it to be perfect before you launch it.
Yeah. And I think that's where our balance comes in, right? So like, I really want to make a really, 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 really amazing product, and she's like,
launch. She's like, launch.
Yeah. So like together we find that right time to launch, right? So it's like, it's good, it's great, it's good to go out, but it's not like
Yeah, it's yin and yang on both sides though, because there's times where like I'm not obsessed with perfection, but as someone with a design background, I do pay attention to details that like the average person who doesn't have a design background would never even notice. So for me, I'd be like, no, we can't put it out yet because it doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. And he's like, just put it out.
Does it get heated? Like, I was going to ask you, what is it like? Because I actually think this is awesome. Like, I would love this scenario of being in a relationship and working together. So you guys are essentially together a lot. I mean,
we live together in a studio.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, it for me, it's not really hard because it's like my best friend, right? Like.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult, but when we do fight or when we do have arguments, it's usually about business. There's no. Yeah. We never like argue about like traditional like couple stuff. It's like, oh, this client said this and I reacted this way and she doesn't like the way I'm reacting.
I'm like big on PR.
Yeah, she's very big on PR. I'm not.
What do you mean by that?
Like I'm big on how things appear, how they sound. Like my emotional IQ is very high. Yeah. So like
mature.
If he's going to say something to, let's say, like an agent, I believe it has to be approached a very specific way.
Yeah. So like I'll be like, you're being lazy as shit, and she'll be like,
you can't say that.
Like that. You have to...
I'm kind of like with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It happens.
You know what? I think there's a time and a place for both. So I think the two of you guys together balance each other out very nicely, which is very, very cool. I like the dynamic.
Yeah, she gives me the PR spin, so
that's very cool. Because I think a lot of people are thinking thinking, could I work with my significant other? Like, what does that got to be like? And then, does the real estate talk ever stop? Is it like, it's 24/7? Which I would kind of argue like helps a relationship in the sense that you guys have bonds on so many levels that there's always something.
Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with this idea that there are people outside of our relationship who like to commentate and say like, oh, you shouldn't talk about business all the time.
Every asshole has an opinion.
Yeah. You shouldn't talk about business all the time. But at the same time...
How's their relationship doing?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, sometimes people with the most insane
relationship... The most to say are...
The most jacked... The people with the nicest... Instagram photos typically are the ones who like hate their husband's guts.
We have pretty nice photos.
Yeah, as I was saying that, I was thinking of you guys, but it's different. I actually really feel the love with you, as opposed to with other
Yeah.
people. Like, I think you can smell bullshit like a
Yeah.
mile away. And the nonverbal cues that people give off are, unless you're a professional actor or actress, are impossible to hide.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, just because you're with the family, you're like, yeah, it doesn't mean I'm like, something doesn't
Yeah,
feel
we don't
right
have
here.
poker faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Something
good at
doesn't
that.
feel right.
We're not
I'm
good
really
at
bad at
that.
that too.
Yeah.
Like poker faces, if something.
We are really honest, like, well, at least I am. He's starting to be in the captions. Like, I give a lot. Like, if someone were to just go and read my Instagram captions, like, you know, too much probably. Like, we're very honest in the sense of, like, that we do argue about real estate things and that we do
but that's-
struggle with, like, the balance of, like, oh, should we be talking about business all the time? Or,
Yeah, like yesterday we actually had a pretty good like moment where we didn't really talk about real estate,
we were like,
but there was real estate thrown in there.
Yeah.
But we didn't really like.
it
Focus
wasn't
on
a
it, though.
full blown
But it's
discussion.
like it's who you. It's I'm not gonna say it's like even what you do. It's who you guys are
Yeah.
at this point
Yeah.
in your life, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't
We
even know.
love it.
I don't even know what the hell balance is.
Yeah.
What is balance?
I believe in synergy, not balance.
Yeah, I just don't. You know what is that? What I've realized as I matured, maybe recently in the past 6 months, I'm like, fuck society, right? Forget about what anything society says. I mean, I never gave a shit what anybody thought anyway, but this is kind of like on a deeper level where, you know, society likes to like put people in different boxes or say you have to do this and that. What I've learned is everybody's different and what works for them doesn't work for somebody else, but it's not right or wrong. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not balanced or unbalanced. It's just what works
Yeah. That's
for
and that's it. Just works.
Absolutely, yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. So what is what's like, what is it, Generation 5? What do you call it?
Phase
Phase.
5.
Yeah, what's like, so what does the future of the brokerage look like? The other businesses, like, take me out 2 years, 5 years.
Yeah. So right now it's focusing on the tools, right? Like kind of getting them in a place where it's going to be super valuable, right? Where everybody can see the value and there's nothing that needs to be worked on.
Yeah,
right?
what you guys are
Everything's
doing with all that stuff is very cool. Like the online training, all
Yeah.
that stuff is awesome.
Also, how we're giving back to our agents is that we let them choose their commission based on their experience,
Okay.
right? So you know how other brokers, you're in a split until you hit a certain point, and then you can scale your commission or whatever it may be.
Okay.
In Alexander, it's based on where you think you are.
You choose it off the bat.
You choose it off the bat,
Okay.
and there's certain like fees that they pay for each commission split. So if
Okay.
you're doing really well and you want to be on a 90-10 split, that's where you are,
Cool.
right? And you get to choose that. So eventually, what I want to do is the people that we currently have in the core are going to grow hopefully into leader positions, and then we'll put them where they want to be, like some in Brooklyn, some in Long Island, some
Managing offices.
Yeah, well, we're kind of like a hybrid. So we're kind of like in between an actual office and like the EXP model where it's virtual,
Yeah.
right? So we kind of have like an in between. So what we'll do is we'll have like co-working spaces.
You know Juan Baranici?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows
Yeah.
Juan Baranici.
Everybody
Yeah,
knows.
I
him.
hadn't heard of EXP until I had him on here like a month ago or so, and he
Yeah.
was telling me about it. I was like, total virtual everything.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
virtual. But we're kind of like in between that. So we're kind of mixing the two. So we do have that in office
Because
culture.
we know that some people
I
like
think you
a
need
space.
that. And that's the thing. Like, when I was having a conversation, when I was talking to Dean, I was like, bro, you need, like, to a certain generation of realtors, that gives you credibility. If you don't have, like, some kind of hub or central location, I'm like, that is an issue. And if you're gonna be regional or, you know, just the boroughs of Long Island, whatever, like, you're gonna need a place where people can process payroll, where you have staff. So, like, you need some kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
footprint. Like, the new retail is, you know, smaller retail footprint.
Yeah. Like when we were branding, we did at first we were like writing everything out like cloud based, and we were like, wait, no, we're not cloud based. We're hybrid.
Yeah, because we do have the office like feel. We have the office space. We do have that kind of like people come together, and we do host events and stuff like that.
Nice.
But we don't really technically
we don't
have an
have
office.
like
Like
our
our
the
office, not
building
like
is
in
just
Alexander.
in Alexander kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
No,
kind of like,
It's interesting kind of see how it's evolved. Now that I think about it, you had like the traditional Century 21s or this or that, and then you had Realty Connect, which I guess you gotta really give a lot of credit to Realty Connect. Now that I think about it, they started like 10 years ago or so,
I think so.
and they did like a hybrid of the hybrid, which is they had like just satellite offices all over with a high split.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if they're really giving like the level of value that people need, and then you guys are like the next generation of that.
yeah. So we're kind of like a baby of like the traditional brokerage and new virtual office is coming together. And then what we would like to say is that we're helping build our agents' brands.
Yeah.
right? So that's what we're focused on as a brokerage, is to help you build your brand. We're not supposed to try to like only focus on Ian Alexander, because yes, it's something that's important to us, but we want to build your brand as your individual self, right? We want you to shine. We want you to be out there.
We don't push them to use the Ian Alexander name. They do it on their own naturally. But for us, it's more like the conversations we have with our team is like, what can we do for you? Because at the end of the day, I think it's important for agents to realize that the broker is not like, they're not your boss per se or anything like that. It's more so like they're supposed to be doing stuff to help you grow your business.
Yes.
You should be looking at your broker like they're like your advertising company or something like that, and approaching it in that sense, like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
We kind of approach it more like a media company.
No, of course, which makes sense, is the way it should be. But so when you say that, I agree with you, and I would say the same thing, and it makes sense. But then I also think there's a lot of people that don't know what they need, or either are afraid to ask of it, or usually don't know what they need, or don't know like where to start. So how do you overcome that?
We even experienced that within our
brokerage.
So where people we have to consistently ask, like, do you need anything? Is there anything I can do for you this week? Do you have any marketing questions? Is there something that you've had an idea for and you kind of want to net it out type of thing? Like, we just have to be vocal and reach out to them.
Yeah. And then also the shadowing. So like, we have, like, obviously if you want to shadow, it's kind of like mentorship. Yeah. And we do have like that system where it's going to allow people to grow in the business and mentor their team. Right, and for them to be compensated for it, right? So, for example, like Tim Torres, he's a associate broker on our team now. He's killing it in the rental game. He knows the rental game really well. He's just getting into sales now. But if he was to recruit somebody, he gets his split off of his team, right? Okay. So it allows people to kind of have that mentorship relationship,
which I think is very smart. Which also lends itself to scalability, because I think in a lot of businesses, and I've experienced this, I experience it now. It's like, a business is great, it's viable, it makes sense, and then in order to get to the next level, you need a certain level of infrastructure, and then as you grow and you're kind of diluted a little bit from the process, it becomes harder and harder. Like scalability, like the ability to scale is what really can mess up a business. Like I've lived it, so I think that's a smart way to go about doing it. If you can have small groups within, and everyone's financially motivated, and they're seeing themselves grow. If everybody has teams of 5 people or 3 people or 10 people or whatever it is, it makes sense. But I guess it's something that like you have to play with. It never is 100%. Like you're always playing with it, and refining with it.
Especially because real estate is a revolving door.
Yeah, that was something that I had learned hands-on in the beginning, right? Like I have to realize that not everybody has the mindset like Juan Baronetti, or like somebody who's in it for a long period of time, that they know they're going to be in it for a long period of time. Most people are in for a first year and that's it. 90% fail.
I've already seen people fail out from like when I got licensed. That's under 2 years ago.
Because everybody thinks it's, I look at being a real estate agent as a couple different things. If you have another job, like I was talking to my cousin, he's a fireman, he does this, I'm like, listen, being a real estate agent can be a great side hustle, and it can also be an amazing full-time career. It just depends. But I think are you looking for certain types of agents? Are you welcoming to everybody, and then I guess they'll kind of like either they stay or they don't because they're not in the business anymore?
I mean, we kind of made it so that we want to bring in more people, but we're kind of a little more selective. We want to go for the quality, or people with the right mindset,
which I think makes sense
to start off. Because there's a difference between, like, if we look at from a traditional model, I don't think
we don't want volume versus
it's very like the industry itself is based on volume, right? Like everybody wants to have as many agents, but out of those 150 agents, like 10 of them
are producing.
And the rest of them are like a drain on you. But if you could if you could just give all your effort to those 10 agents, they could probably sell 50% more. So it's like, Mike Murphy?
Yes, I've heard of him.
Mike Murphy was on one of my podcasts. He's the head of Douglas Elliman's commercial division. He has this saying where like bigger isn't better, better's better. And I was like, that makes sense. And I think everyone gets caught up in that, myself included. Like I want to do more because more is better, but more isn't necessarily better. So like what I think, like, if I was going to open a retail brokerage, I'm like, what would I do? I was like, I would do similar to what you're saying, like give a ton of value and then just focus in on like a certain like caliber of person or agent, and then give them everything, because 20 amazing people can produce more than 120 people. I don't know what the stats are in Queens, but I know in Long Island there's like 30 30,000 agents.
Yeah, I think
With
altogether.
LIBOR?
I think
You
it's
in
like
LIBOR?
Yeah,
we're part
LIBOR.
of LIBOR.
Okay.
I think it's like 40 altogether now.
40,000?
Yeah.
But like half of those, at 30,000, I remember hearing that half of those had never done a deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's very it's very
Yeah.
true. Like I've seen so many people just like it's kind of like investing, right? There's so many investors out there, right? But they
haven't
half of them can't even flip a cup. Like they can't even like
No.
you know what I'm saying? Like they talk about being an investor. They went to all the classes. They have all the knowledge, but they never actually did anything with it. Same thing like applies to the real estate industry right now. Like the entry to I mean the barrier to entry
Is really
for realtors
low.
is so low, so that anyone could be a realtor,
yeah.
but not everybody could be a professional. So it's
You know what's interesting though? When I went and took the test to become a realtor, right? And I was thinking what you're thinking, but then I took this test. I'm like, this test isn't that easy. Like, I'm really surprised that there's so many realtors that aren't doing shit, because this isn't like a super easy test. You have to know like a lot of laws and like funky stuff.
yeah. But the thing is,
But you don't
like,
even come across all of that in New York.
None of it.
yeah, no, I'm saying like half of the stuff that you learn in the class is just common knowledge. Like you're gonna learn, you know that in the back of your head, type of thing. But for like the business side, nobody knows how to be a business person.
That's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, so I mean that's where I think we need to focus on, like how to make more business people.
That's the problem with like the real estate industry in general, is that you don't have leadership in the industry teaching agents without charging them how to actually operate and be a business owner or be an entrepreneur. Real estate agents just think, oh, I'm a real estate agent, I work for my broker, and that's not the case. It's the opposite. Like you're a business owner if you're a real estate agent. You should be operating that way.
I don't think it's just. I think it's every business everywhere. I don't think it's just real estate specific. It's everything. But on top of that, what I also notice is, because at this point I have so many things going on that I would like. I'm going to open a private equity fund. That's like my ultimate goal within the next 5 years.
Nice.
So in private equity, as you know, you're basically like kind of like starting mini businesses, and you're staking those people, and you're hiring the best, and they run with it. So that's what like I would like to do.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find people that want the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're on the Knicks. There's 5 seconds left. You're down by 1 point. You're in the paint. Do you want the ball? Like most people don't want the ball. Like throw the ball to that guy.
Yeah.
I just want the ring.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem
I think
is
it's the
like,
best analogy.
Yeah.
I think it's really
you know,
good.
you guys obviously you want the ball.
Yeah. I'll take the ball every time. I'll Kobe that.
And that's why you're going to be successful. So if people, I mean, listen, just from meeting you guys, I encourage people to reach out, see what you have to offer. Obviously, what you have to offer is unlike anything that anybody else has anywhere right now, and I'm looking forward to watching that grow and experiencing that. Again, how do people get in touch with you if they're not happy with their broker, if they're just breaking into the industry, if they're hungry but don't know what to do? How can they reach out to you guys?
You can reach out to me at 917-915-4417, or you could contact us at info@iarealtygroup.com.
Throw the Instagram names up there again.
Spell
out your name, because people are not going to...
at AlexFazelani.
That's Alex Fazzolani. And then you can find me on Instagram at Real Estate with Amanda. I don't think my name's so basic. I don't have to spell
I
it.
think you got that clear. And you might find the three of us, or probably will, doing a trio to some song. I think it should be...
we'll get him in the studio.
Yeah, we should.
Get you some auto-tune.
I'm ready. My whole life has been about this moment.
Imagine we get him in there and he sounds like Celine Dion.
No. I'm going to sound like a nasally
Have
Jewish
you ever
guy.
tried
That's
to
what I'm going to
sing?
sound like. No, I mean, yeah, I'll sing. I don't care. I'm going to go for it.
No, he could sing.
No, this isn't one of those scenarios. But I need to do something dramatic. Like, I'm going to need to, like, I don't know, like, dress up like Lady Gaga or something. We need the perfect song. It'll come to me. I feel like it should be some... Do you like Latin music?
I mean, yeah.
That's what we clean our house
That's the way
to.
we clean
We
our
don't
house too.
understand all the lyrics.
I don't know a
but-
word that's happening.
Well, all I do is drive around all day, Matt. I think, Matt... Do you hate it at this point, Matt? Nah?
You don't got lie, man.
Yeah, be real.
Okay.
So, yeah, all I do is listen to Spanish music all day long. So for some reason, I feel like maybe it can be a hybrid. I don't know. It needs to have some Spanish influence. But we're doing a trio. In any event, love you guys. Thank you for coming in. That was awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Really excited to see what you guys do in the future. And hopefully I can, I want a front row seat to that.
100%.
If you have a house that smells like cat pee, is dated from the 1960s, has 6 inches of mold on the wall, commercial property, notes, anything real estate related, you know who to call, 516-777-SOLD. And if you need a permit, 516-513-8838. Ask for the captain. That's a wrap.
Dime